change in the Local Government Act, what changes would you see for Moreland Council?
Was that for a specific candidate?
I want to say it again, just so simply, Nick.
What changes would you or your party advocate to change local government laws? What changes would you see would help Brunswick with Moreland Council?
Be given more autonomy over planning decisions, and I'd like to also see them be able to make their own decisions about what's right for their community and not be constantly overruled by state governments when they want to control poker machine numbers or they want to control emissions or charges in the area. And at the moment we're seeing state governments of both colours intercede and stop local governments like Moreland, who are progressive, from initiating that sort of thing.
I'll just be brief. I could just add to, I think, what Peter was alluding to, but to give councils the power to set differential rates, such as charging higher rates for venues with poker machines, and to be able to extend that power for them to vary rates for various forms of premises, or to reduce them as an incentive for things such as reducing emissions. I'd also like to see constitutional recognition of local government, and for local government to be given more power in planning compared to VCAT, which is essentially a de facto planning authority.
I think that your question has many different facets to it, and probably would require a very long evening on that. I think that what the state government needs to do, which I said before, is we have to have a much better discussion about planning at the citywide and indeed the statewide level, so that growth is carried evenly across councils. And I think that one of the issues in Moreland that we've suffered from in this council is, while you're here, Nick, I would like, Tim and I were both at a forum that you and your group organised on Tuesday, a planning forum, which was, I think, extremely useful, where it was discussions amongst planners about, in really easy to understand language about some of the issues facing, not why these broader planning control issues impact on our area, and that was really helpful, and that needs to be had at a much more wide level. So I think that I certainly, in my day-to-day travels, people in this electorate feel a lot of frustration about Moreland Council on a number of fronts, and part of it, I think, is the size of the council, and that Brunswick, the seat of Brunswick, is a very inner urban seat, very analogous to your Fitzroys and your Richmonds and your Albert, your St Kildas. But Moreland itself is extremely large geographical area, and obviously you have the mix of councillors representing those areas, and I know Joe Allan's here tonight, former councillor, and it's a big issue, and so we've had a range of growth happen. We've had massive increases in house prices, which has led to really significant rate increases for people, but quite the disparity with, I think, where people would see the services they're getting in the southern part as opposed to other inner city councils. So I think we as a community have to have a discussion that isn't necessarily about legislation, although legislating and making the state a lot more responsive and accountable on planning issues that carry the whole weight when we deal with these issues, but also as a community about what we want to see from our council, and literally, I think, making Moreland perhaps turn its eye a little bit more to what's happening in the southern part.